On this episode of Black Coffee, we have Tre Hicks, David Nehemiah Miller, and Jacen Murphy, 3 star college athletes who fought just like millions of young black men around this nation for a shot at the NFL.
You love the game so much, you put so much into it, and it's just like, wow, what now?
This conversation is a conversation about identity and how they found it, even though life didn't look like how they thought it would after college. Welcome to Black Coffee.
Yo, so this conversation is huge for me, and it's not even because like I've been in y'all's shoes. Because growing up, I was an artist. Like I went to art school. And so I was a singer growing up. I did like 1 year, 1 year of wrestling. I did 1 year of wrestling, and and then I moved to the inner city of Boston, and I was in art school, did music. But in the last almost decade of working with youth and young adults from ages from middle school, high school, college to young adult, I've met plenty of student athletes who have given their life to this thing.
True.
Like, they're like, yo, and what's crazy is I've had conversations with student athletes that say that literally the only time that they feel proud of themselves, or they feel like their parents are proud of them, is when they're on the field. Or in the game. Yeah. And literally, I mean, I've met students who literally that's what they're reaching for.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like I don't even love the game no more. It's like I just love the affirmation of the game.
You know why though, right?
Why?
Because from the time you were 4 years old, you had a football in your hand, and the only thing that people ever told you was you're gonna be great in ball.
Wow.
That's the only thing they told you, like, yo, you will be a great football player. So you like, yo, I'm a baller. I'm a great football player. And you grow up with that mentality. And why would you think else if your parents had told you that? If your friends and people at church in the community you known as the baller, why would you be something different?
Wow. So speaking of identity, so going to art school, like, the status quo is a little different. It wasn't the jocks and whatever. It was just artists. And if you were good at your art, you know what I'm saying, then you got a little popularity. But what was it like being the man growing up? Because y'all the jocks.
Murph the man. Go ahead, Murph.
What was it like being the man?
For me, in the beginning, football wasn't something that, like Tre said, like somebody handed me a football and I played it all my life. Like my first love was art. Believe it or not. So, most people don't really know that I even like art. You know what I'm saying? It's just something because of football. Because football is so time consuming. We just didn't have time. I didn't have time to, really invest that much, devote any time to art. Really, football is nonstop. But for me, in the beginning, I started playing football in Baltimore, Maryland, and I had older brothers that played. One day I was asleep in the summertime. We played in the street. We played outside. It was just one of those things that I did being a kid. Nothing different than playing basketball. Just being a young black kid in the city. Sports is important to a lot of kids. That's like you said. A lot of kids grow up thinking that's my way out. So for me, I started playing, and that was what I decided I'm gonna get out of here with, because I can do this and I love this. Yeah. So, just going through high school, middle school, just that was my mindset all the way through. Even through college, and high school, like you said, as far as being a man, it wasn't always for me. I think that in the beginning, I always had to fight for, just to be present, really. You know what I'm saying? Even at ECU, when I got to Central, when I was in high school, it seemed like I always had to overcome something. And sometimes it was things that I put myself in. Sometimes it was just stuff that just happened. In high school, I got into a fight. Got kicked out of school in the 10th grade, and I didn't play my junior season in high school. And that really affected the recruiting process, because your sophomore, any one of these guys can tell you, your sophomore I mean, your junior season is your most important season as far as recruiting.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a junior season, so I had to fight. I had to play extremely well my senior year. I felt like I had to, and I put everything into it. And I had to get to college, because if I don't, I would have been in, you know, that seat earlier. You know, which a lot of kids, most kids go through that, figuring out what's next for me at 18 years old. So. You know, that's what I fought so hard to avoid that, and I feel like I put that same pressure on myself. I feel like most, you know, athletes do, especially, you know, black athletes coming from, you know, an inner city, a less fortunate situation, which I that's how I came up, and it was just like I said, it was my way out. When I got to college, things didn't go necessarily how I wanted them to, and this summer, when I got to ECU, I tore my ACL, my LCL, my hamstring, and my calf. I was there with Tre.
True.
It was my freshman year, like before the season, before we got to camp. So that was a major setback for me. I was told by Lincoln Riley, my position coaches, that I was gonna play. I was gonna be a true freshman, and I was a preferred walk-on. So that was huge for me. I worked hard for that, and it was like, dang, just like that, like I'm set back. I'm set way back.
So what it sounds like, so I'm sitting here asking what it was like to be the man, and what you're saying is for most of us, especially ones who grew up in the inner city, this ain't about being the man. I'm fighting for something bigger.
Absolutely.
I'm fighting to be able to get to college. I'm fighting to get mom out the hood.
Absolutely.
Is that any of your story? Like, what was your story like? What were you fighting for?
I think mine was a little different. My family wasn't rich by no means. Like, we were, you know, humble, you know, blue collar, hard working type people. You know, my dad worked in lawn maintenance and ran the family business. My mom, she started from the bottom, corporate, and, you know, climbed the ladder. So with me, I had a chance to kind of enjoy the high school experience going into college. Like the man, like you say, like everybody getting all the love, you know, the attention, media, you know, all that type of stuff. And I feel you, Murph, you were probably getting some of that, but not a lot because of your situation.
I got a whole lot of that.
You got a whole lot of that? Exactly.
Man,
but that's the thing. You couldn't really enjoy it because of life.
No, I enjoyed it.
See, look, that's what I'm saying. Oh, you enjoyed it. Okay.
Hey, we went to
But that's
rival
the thing.
schools. I knew about Murray.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hated him.
But that's the thing. Look, I thought you were saying like he was like, nah, bro, I ain't getting no love. Like,
Nah, it
no.
wasn't that. It was just, I didn't play football for that.
True.
You know what I'm saying? My
Yeah.
reason was much bigger than that.
Yeah.
I know that I can do something with this. I know that I can put myself on a platform to change not just my family, but kids, you know, people around me,
Yeah.
just anybody around. My parents, like, I've seen the things that I've done, you know, throughout college, not just with football, but especially with football. They see how much I put into that, and that inspires my mom to, you know, get up and go to the gym. She see how much I put into that. If I can do that. My mom's health isn't, you know, the best. Nemo know that, you know, he met my mom and everything. So, I mean, she's not sick or nothing like that, but, you know, she got some, you know, ups and downs with it. And, you know, that exercise, that working out, that her health, she's putting so much more into that just with what she see me do. She called me, send me pictures of her food, stuff like that. So,
wow.
Yeah.
You pushing the family like from your grind.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Got you. Mine was more like, and Nemo, I want you to add in on something too. But mine was more like, it just was the thing to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't like needed, but my identity was like this is who I am. So like with the cameras and the lights, all the people, the love, you know, I enjoyed that. But like you said, that wasn't my main goal.
Yeah.
My main goal was like, yo, I need a ball because like I'm a baller. Like, and that was it. Like, that's ball is ball, and that's it.
Yeah,
and it was cut and dry.
Absolutely.
Like, the NFL making money, that was like in the back of my head, and that really was my main motivation because my family really didn't need me to do that to make it, you know, out of a bad situation. So, but I just thought that was my only thing to do in life. I was like, yo, I'm smart, you know, I was be a football player, you know, but I think the difference was my family kind of was talking to me about business too. I had mentors like, yo, you need to be thinking about X, Y, and Z. Opposed to like my other teammates, like who really didn't get that same type of thought process. So, and I might be skipping a little ahead, but kind of like people get into that rut when they finish ball and they don't really know what to do. It's because the prior work, they haven't thought about it before that point. You know, I cracked my tibia bone 4 months before my senior season, And like, this is my year to start. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna start. I'm battling it out with one of my guys.
college?
Yeah.
This is in college. Yeah, college. Appreciate that. Yep. And I'm battling it out, and everything's going good. I'm grading out good on the depth chart. And then I crack it. That was the best thing that happened to me. At the time, I'm like, bro, this sucked, man. I'm done. Like, my season is over. I missed spring ball. I missed camp. I missed the first 4 games of the season. So I'm like, man, I'm a ball like this. But what happened was I had a chance to sit back and like, all right, what's next? And a lot of guys, that what's next moment don't come until the last game. And you still like get an internship, your last game, you out of school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no time for that. So that's kind of add on to that.
What made y'all choose football? Like, what made y'all choose? I know for everybody it's different.
True.
So I can kind of relate to him. I grew up. My main motivation wasn't necessarily to get my mom out, even though I grew up, impoverished or whatever you want to call it. I didn't have that mindset like I'm trying to make it to the NFL to get rich or to get my family. I wanted to play football just because that's all I knew growing up in the neighborhood. All we did was football. I was good at it, and from an early age, I just fell in love with it. So my motivation was I just want to play football for the love. So I kind of took a different route, like Murph. Like I said, he was a man in high school. You know what I'm saying? I know you got a lot of love in high school. Me, kind of similar to Murph. I didn't play till my senior year. I didn't play junior year or nothing like that because of other situations. But my senior year, I'm like unknown. Like nobody knows who I am. You feel me? Like I play receiver. I went him a 35.
He scored against us, though.
Yeah, we played.
Is this a trick?
Number 35, right?
Yeah, I went him a 35 receiver.
Never
Like
seen this dude.
no respect. Nobody knows. I just first time playing football. Where we at with this? So yeah, like I said, I didn't get none of all the love and stuff till I got to. So I went to a junior college.
Yeah.
So in high school, I didn't take school seriously. You know what I'm saying? So my grades were bad. So now at the high school, I had to find an alternative route to get to, where I wanted to be at, like division college. So I went to junior college, and I had to walk on there because I was late with registration and all that, whatever. So I set out the first year, I'm grinding, you know what I'm saying? So when I get to my JUCO, this is when, for the first time, I'm around people, other athletes who are like, the NFL is a realistic goal. Like they're talking about. I remember I was working out with this guy Fred, and I owe Fred a lot. He was older than he played cornerback. He played at Georgia State, and he transferred to JUCO. Got some trouble, whatever. But he showed me, how to work ethic. He showed me that it's bigger than just trying to get to the next school. They showed me like, all right, we trying to get to the league. So that kind of, when I got into junior college, that's when I started, taking it more seriously as far as possibilities where I can go with it. So after that, I was set. I'm trying to get to NFL, period. You know what I'm saying? So I get to college. Well, I played a year. I played a year at junior college. I did well, all conference, whatever, MVP, all that. And I come to Central, and I kind of start all over. I got to prove myself all over again. You know what I'm saying? And basically, just like what we were talking about, I got to Central, and that was, I'm a football player. I'm trying to get to the NFL. I'm trying to prove myself as an athlete. This is my identity. And then before I know it, it's all over with, and I'm where we all have been, lost and not knowing what to do. Trying to find our identity after football.
Wow.
So.
In the space of like finding your identity outside of football, let's talk about how it was the moment you've worked from Pop Warner for some of you guys all the way up to high school, then you go to college, and now you're playing at the collegiate level, and then you graduate, right? You've had the affirmation once you got the scholarship from high school, or you got to go in, on scholarship after JUCO, whatever the case was. But after college, after you worked, after you thought your stats were hitting, like after everything was there, and then you realize that, the NFL wasn't going to be in my life the way I thought it would. Take me to that place. What was that like for each of you?
Yeah.
We want to tackle that one first.
Yeah.
I got it.
Go ahead.
For me, after my senior season, I didn't graduate. I transferred like Nemo. I went to a junior college after I left ECU. like I said, I tore my ACL. Things weren't going the way that I anticipated. How I wanted them to go at ECU. So decided it was best if I, start over, get another opportunity to go play at a Division I school, just start the whole recruiting process over. And a lot of guys go to JUCO to do that, and that's what I did. And once I left JUCO, came to Central, met this dude.
Yeah.
And my first season didn't go as I planned. Got to my senior season and had a good season. Had a really good season. Worked hard for it, and that was the first season where I really decided I'm not playing for anybody else. I'm playing for me. This is my last one. This is the last guaranteed season where I'll be catching footballs in the game. So everything after this is a lot of uncertainty. And then out loud, you know exactly what you're doing from January 1st until December 31st as far as football, So every year you know exactly what it is. You know what your schedule look like for the whole year in January. And you finish up school, you finish up football, and it's on you. Every single day is, I got to figure something out. And with football, just my life, period, I had to work through adverse situations where there was a lot of pressure. So I feel like we were having a discussion a little bit earlier. I feel like I work much better under pressure, and I feel like I've always been that way. So it was a fun experience for me, but it was tough because now I'm not getting a refund from school, but I still want to chase football. So after my season, I moved to Greenville, back to train with one of my best friends, Jimmy. He went to ECU with me and Trey. Trey knows Jimmy. That's like my blood brother. So we went and lived together. We trained every day. I'm giving this everything I got. A little bit before the draft, I think it was 2 nights before, my agent sent me 2 hats in the mail. He had sent me a text that one of the scouts from the Jets liked my tape, talked about it. Then I got 2 hats in the mail, a Jets hat and a Carolina Panthers hat. So now we send you hats if that's the team that makes that call, you wear the hat, you do it for media purposes, stuff like that. So I never got that call. I sat and watched. I went and watched the draft at Jimmy's house the last day. I never got that call, so I didn't get the call, and I was super happy for him. But it was like it was a bittersweet. I'm a bit brokenhearted that I didn't get that call. And I waited it out. My agent told me, calls sometimes come as late as 3 days after the draft, so just be patient. And that call never came, and I mean, I never cried that hard in my life. And it was, like I said, it was tough, and I got an opportunity to go to the spring league where, that you pretty much just perform in front of other scouts from different leagues, the AAF, the NFL, the CFL, and never got that call. Never got that call. A lot of things, I a couple injuries while I was there. They made us practice as soon as we got off the plane. My plane left at 4 a.m. I went to sleep at 2 o'clock, so it was tough. But now I actually enjoy where I'm at because I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning so much about myself. Before, football, like you said, had I not had football distracting, not just necessarily distracting, if I had to devote all of my time to football, if I had time to sit and play the guitar and really get better, where would I be? And I have a bunch of stuff that I wanted to do. I had a clothing line, 2 clothing lines while I was at ECU. Successful clothing lines, in my opinion. I mean, but I didn't have the time to really invest in that, and that's something that I'm able to do now. I'm experiencing that now, but it's my little sister, so I'm doing that with her. And that's really fun, and just life. Period. It's a lot of new things that I wasn't exposed to because there was somebody making my schedule every semester. There was somebody telling me what time we have this, we got that. And all I'm doing is going out there and catching football. I mean, that's not all I'm doing, but essentially that's all I'm doing to the rest of the world. And it's like I said, those stereotypes, they think that we just wake up and we just got luxury. The campus love us, we get all these perks, but, it's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
True. Rephrase the question, bro. Hey, Murph, I respect you for that, but that's real.
You want to repeat it?
Sure.
Yeah, so really question is, like, what was that feeling? What was that like when you got your senior year? Like, you're expecting something.
Yeah.
Like, to make, was that your expectation in the NFL?
Yeah, that's always the expectation. Yeah, that's the goal.
So
That's the goal.
what was it like when you felt like, when you realized that it was not going to be the reality the way you thought it would be?
I guess mine wasn't like, it happened like this. So when I finally realized I wasn't gonna play, I had my leg hooked up to this little machine they gave me to like supposedly like make your bone generate faster or something. And I put it up there and my leg was hurting. I couldn't sleep. And like I just hit like a wall, like, bro, like what am I, like what's up, like what's about to happen? Like it kind of made me nervous, like kind of scared. Thankfully I know God, bro, because like honestly he got me through it, because I literally just started praying, like, because I couldn't sleep, like, and this happened for a couple nights, and I got so anxious, I didn't know what else to do. I prayed. I literally went on Indeed, the job joint, bro. I sent in 200 applications in one day.
Oh man.
I'm talking like, bro, I didn't know what else to do with my time. So my dad, I remember, he'd be like, yo, why? I was staying with my dad at the time at ECU because he lived, right around the corner. And he was like, so why you not coming home? Like, I was literally at my friend's house. I didn't have no money. I'll go to Todd to eat. Actually, this is kind of skipping past. This is after the football season a little bit. And I was kind of going through that process she was going through, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to find out if I was going to be on a team. I literally sat in the house all day and just did job applications. I didn't know what to do with my time. I was so scared, like, and I was broke. So I had to stay near the closest food store, the dining hall, to make sure I still get in and eat that. But so yeah, honestly, that's really how I was feeling. Yep.
How about you?
For me, once I realized, football wasn't gonna be it, NFL, I was lost because it was like, so that's one thing I'm glad that I had a guitar to fall back on. You know what I'm saying? So I took everything that I missed from football, like people cheering for you, attention, love, all that, vain, all the vain stuff. And I put it in guitar, like. So I'm like, when I was done playing football, like I left campus. I had 3 classes left till I graduate. Like I just threw those away, just left. I'm a guitar player now. And it's like everything, it was still an issue. Even though I had something to fall back on, I was still dependent on certain feelings. You know what I'm saying? So like, I would play a show, and I'd do a solo or something. I have fans cheering for me. They take some pics after the show, and first thing I'm thinking in my head is like, oh, that feels like how football, like school. I feel like I scored a touchdown, like that ass. Like I would equate that. Like even like, it sounds crazy, but even like my guitar stands, like I have my right foot up, like I'm lined up like a receiver, like, and I try to transfer everything, kind of brainwash myself. Like, okay, I'm not a football player no more, but I'm a guitar player. And still, even with that, we've talked about this, me and you, our one-on-ones. I realized even that was still an issue. I still didn't know who I was, because I had my identity in football. Then once that was over, I just switched everything, put it right here, and I never found out who I was. So
so much different.
So yeah, I was unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't, I'm still working on myself, but I wasn't whole. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what. I knew I wanted to play guitar, but I knew it was something else that I needed to be fulfilled in. I feel like that's a lifelong pursuit. But it really took a lot of conversations with you, a lot of conversations with myself to find out, okay, who am I? You know what I'm saying? And I'm still searching for who I am, but that I try to replace football with guitar, and I never
just chasing that feeling.
Chasing that. Yeah, honestly, just chasing the feeling. People cheering for me, all that.
I found myself driving on the highway and just missed it. Just like, man, I want to score a touchdown. Like, I want to make a play. Like, I missed that. Not even just everything about this is in this route where we're just making that play. It's like, you're just in a different world, man. Yeah, that's you love the game so much, you put so much into it, and it's just like, wow, what now?
And I think what people try to, the toxic thing is, because I talk to like old teammates all the time, and they be like, the constant thing I hear, of course, people say, like I'm lost. Like, I don't know what to do with myself now. Like I had one of my friends ask me like, cause they see me, I play guitar. You know, like to them, a lot of people envy me because I have a passion. You know what I'm saying? To fall back on after football, and they're like, you know, one guy I was talking to, he's like, one, I feel worthless. Two, it's like I can't find anything to make me feel how football is. It's like we try to chase a certain feeling, and you're just not gonna find that specific feeling. But you know, you're not gonna find another football feeling. But there are, you know, overall fulfillment can be found. You know what I'm saying? In who you are. You know what I'm saying? When people chase that feeling, it's dangerous.
And that you say that, I just feel like, personally, I feel like life is about, for your perspective, how you perceive something.
Yeah.
That's the quality of life. That determines the quality of life. So when you said it's hard for a lot of people to feel that void that I used to feel, like it's nothing like that. Well, there are, you just not looking in the right places. Right. And what you said, when you got lost and you just prayed, I'm glad I know God as well, because I found myself crying in the shower multiple days, just not knowing what to do. I put everything into this. My family put anything that they put into me had something to do with this. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, my family loved me, give genuine real love. But when I'm putting forth that drive, I want to push you, it was for football. It wasn't, I want to push you to be a great son. I want to push, not necessarily son, but just anything else in life that you made. Like I said, I'm an artist. Nobody pushed me to be a good artist. Nobody pushed me to be a good, musician.
As well, like
Same thing. If I have an event at home, I wonder if I had 2 camps, and I wonder if I have 2 events at home that don't have anything to do with football, just me wanting to do something for some kids, or me wanting to do something for anybody, some homeless. Would it have that same effect? Would I have that same support? Because I wasn't, I didn't deal with kids on a daily basis. I'm Jacen, a football player, but I'm so much more than that.
Wow.
So much more than that.
So much more. So, if you were to have a conversation and look straight in the face of you at 16, if you would look at you at 16 years old, knowing what you know now, having experienced what you know now, what would you say to that 16-year-old? What would you pour into that 16-year-old?
The very first thing that I would tell my 16-year-old self is save your money. That's the very first thing I would do, because if I was saving my money the way that I know how to save my money today, I would have been in a much different situation at 24. I would be able.
That's real.
That's real. No, that's
bad.
I would be. The pressure of life would be. There wouldn't be much pressure on life, because I have financially. You can do a lot with money. You got money. You can make a lot of things happen. So, and playing football, that's what we're chasing, that money. A lot of people are chasing that dream to become a millionaire. So if I'm saving my money, I can set myself up with all these other things that I'm able to do and fund those things and be able to make that same amount of money.
Yeah. So even on top of even money, what would you say to them to prepare them for what you experienced after graduation?
I'm big on perspective. Life is all about perspective. You feel the way about yourself based on perspective. You feel the way about what you're doing, about society, about everything in life. With your perspective, you approach certain things with your perspective. So I would say that I would talk to a 16-year-old me and say, "Hey, this is all gonna be gone one day." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or save your money or be wise.
All the cliches, right?
Right. I heard that. My 16-year-old self is just gonna have to experience it for itself.
That's deep.
I was about to say, just kind of chime into what you were saying. I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, yo, what would I tell my 16-year-old self? You know what? Honestly, selfishly, what I told him? Go harder in football. Like, absolutely. I would have been like, go outside and work more. Like, but that just goes to show how deep this football thing really runs in us. Like, I wouldn't have told him, like, hey, go to a job shot. I'm like, hey, that time you shoot your girl, all right, cut that in half and go hit some footwork.
Learn how to
That's
get
the,
out
you
of
know what I
there.
mean?
See me, I was telling myself that. That's the stuff that I was doing. I was cutting that time in half and going out and spending that time. That's why the heartbreak it hurts that much worse for me. So what I would tell my 16-year-old self, enjoy it. That's it. There's no way to prepare for that moment really, other than, you're gonna experience it. I don't mean being prepared for what's next. I mean that feeling. You're gonna experience if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you're gonna feel it regardless of what you have set up. Because this is what I poured all of me into. So I'm gonna have that. You're gonna have the heartbreak if you don't make it. If you love the game, it's gonna hurt. So just enjoy it. So when you look back on it, you able to have those memories. This put me. I was able to create more positive things because I enjoyed this the whole time. It was nothing but love, and you can do so much when you take the pressure off yourself and just enjoy the game and enjoy each day, everything about it.
You know what I would say to you?
What's that?
If I was talking to a 16-year-old Jacen, I would say the way you communicate, you should look into that. Because not only are you articulate, but you're extremely smart.
I appreciate it.
And you when you talk, people listen.
True.
Right? And so you have so much more gifts than I think you've just given yourself credit for. Because you're saying go harder in football. And yes, I think you can absolutely go harder in football. But I can tell that you can win at almost anything that you do.
I appreciate that.
Almost in it.
Hey, look, why you say that? When I first met
And when I say almost, and the almost is fail.
I appreciate that.
Hey.
I do.
I think if you really put your brain to it, you can do anything but fail at it. The fact that you are like passionate about children and doing camps with them and helping out the homeless means you have a heart for people.
True.
It means you have a heart for people. And so I understand that's screaming fans, those are people and they're yelling for you. But I think you have an ability to be uplifting for people, for them in the stands who need help and assurance, and those kids that are screaming and holding your signs, they're going home to try to be like you, right? They're going home to maybe no food, right? But they can have a Jacen Murphy that is so much more than football, but that is an incredible mentor and leader and counselor, right? An incredible big brother. I think just listening to you talk, listening to your heart, I think I would tell that 16-year-old to look into that. Because though everybody else seems to be cheering, they're cheering, but then they go home and they go back to their regular life. Whereas when you open a camp, all those kids their lives are changed forever. Their lives are changed forever. And so you're a life changer, right? You have the ability to change lives with what you say and what you do and the initiatives that you start. And with you, Nehemiah, it's very, very, very clear just how passionate you are, not only about music, but about people and being open and even sitting here having this conversation.
Absolutely.
Right?
I 110% agree. Yeah. Totally agree.
And so, and Tre, it goes without saying.
Yeah.
And so you're incredible motivator, right?
Appreciate it, dog.
Tre, if y'all don't notice, Tre is my trainer as well. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Get right.
you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I'm
you
getting
get right.
Let me get right.
You know what I'm saying? Elevate with Tre. You know what I'm saying?
shout out.
No, but you guys have incredible gifts. And so with your incredible gifts, for you to say to your 16-year-old self, still focus on that one. Still only focus on that one. You have robbed yourself again. And I love how you said this, how deep it goes. It's how deep it goes. It's in our veins. It's what we think. It's how we operate. It's how we calculate. And it's incredible to like listen, because what you're saying here is, yo, we still struggle.
Yeah.
Mentally with just kind of just being there. Like there's nothing that's gonna satisfy. I would contend that if you find that thing, if you change lives the way you guys, we're doing here, but even in your own initiatives, like you starting your camps, and I know, and from my one-on-ones, I know you're really, really passionate about children too. Shoot, y'all can get together.
And it's funny. I'm glad that we sitting here, and I'm glad you just said that, because I've been trying to get this guy to be a part of something for quite some time. He's a busy man.
You be home.
Yeah, he be at the.
But nah, we definitely gonna link on something big though.
And I wanted to add on to kind of all of this. Y'all guys help me if this analogy fit, but like with football, I feel like it's like you had a really great relationship with a girl you thought you was gonna marry, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day and she's like, walk out.
Well, this is good.
This is
good.
I appreciate it.
That's
The reason why, like, I don't want to make it seem all bad. We just catching the breakup side of things.
Yeah.
But the way you are able to run your camp, the way I'm able to personal train, the way you're able to have a heart for people, football grabbed that and pushed it bigger. Because the skills that you have with football, you kind of seen different things. You wouldn't know how to run a camp unless you did what? Been to camp. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't know how to personal train people unless I had Coach Connors yelling in my ear. You know what I'm saying? Same for you in your life. So right now we have a perspective like, oh, the broken heart. But there is a lot of great things that happen from football that build us up to who we are now. So honestly, I think what we're missing is the chance to continue to like be that person to have that heart for ball. You know what I'm saying? It just hurts so bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's so real. And it's so real because in that moment, just to jump to add on to that analogy, is that when you break up with someone that you're in love with, you feel like you can't get no better. When you love someone, it's like, yo, she's never gonna be her, but you know what I'm saying? I just gotta get over it. I messed up, or it just didn't work out. It's never gonna be her. Well, the truth is, we've all gotten girls and leveled up after. We've all have broken up and realized, yo, there is actually somebody who is better. And yo, I was with this girl for a long period of time, and for me, it felt like it worked. I'm now with this girl, and I just realized so much more about me. So much more about me, and I'm happier than I've ever been. But what's great about functioning in that second relationship is that you learn so much from the first relationship.
True.
That you're not bringing that mess to the second relationship. And all the good stuff that you learned. How to date, how to open a door, how to communicate, what not to say things I don't mean, and when to be patient, not to have text arguments, all that stuff you've learned in that first relationship, the good stuff you've taken to the second one. So everything prepares you for the next, right? All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and called according to his purpose.
Preach,
right?
dog. Preach.
No, but seriously, it all works together for the next. But I think why we're having this conversation is that we're all trying to believe for what's next. And so when it comes to, you guys living your entire life shooting your shot at something, shooting your shot at football, this dream, and didn't land the way you thought it was gonna land. The point is, we're gonna keep shooting.
Murph said, not only do you have a mind, but you have a heart.
Ooh.
That's my big thing right there.
Yeah.
And there's so much that you don't even realize your heart is longing for as a person. You know what I'm saying? It's so much. All I have access this one part of my heart. But really try to tune in to yourself and
Welcome to Black Coffee.